Python for statement iterates or read over the items of any sequence, or a list or a string, in the order that they appear in the sequence. Let's create a file called for.py. We're going to create a list of strings. And now we're going to create a variable called words length. We created a list of words with 3 words inside of it, and we created a variable of words length, number 0 inside of it. Now we want to create a small program so that we can get the length of all the words combined. And for that, we're going to use a for loop. In this for loop, basically we're saying for word, like for word inside of words, which is this. Now grab the length of the word and then add it to the word's length, and just keep adding it until this for loop ends here. So it's going to grab this, the length of this word, and it's going to add it onto this one. It's going to grab the length of this word and add it, and then it's going to grab the length of this word and add it. And in the end, it's going to give us the result of how many letters are inside of this list. So now let's print it out. Let's say we wanted to modify this list here and add another cat inside of this list. The first thing you have to do is create a copy of this list here and then add the cat inside of this list while using the for loop. Or if you don't do it, what's going to happen is it's going to create an infinite loop. It will never end. So here's our example. What we have created here is a for loop with a copy of this list right here. And inside the program, we're saying, if the length of the word that you're currently seeing is greater than 4, insert it inside index 0 of our list. But we actually don't want greater than 4. We want less than 4. Because I want the word cat to be duplicated inside of this. Let's print out the list of words to see. As you can see, so we took this cat here, we duplicated it, and we put it on index 0. So now, if you want to iterate or read through a bunch of numbers, there's actually a function called range that makes it much more easier for us to iterate through numbers instead of you writing your own program. So this program here is basically for number inside of range 10, grab all the numbers and append it to this list right here. just so you know, the way range works is that the number that you actually put over here is never displayed. This is the amount of numbers that are going to be shown, are going to be inside of the list. And remember, Python counts 0. So if we're going to count 10 numbers from 0, it's going to be 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 10 numbers because we have 0 right here that Python actually counts. So remember, the number that's actually inside of here is not going to be displayed inside of this list. If you want to iterate over a list or indices of the list itself, let's say we create another list of words. So we created a list of words, and now we're going to use the index, how many words are inside of here, to loop inside of this list so we can work with the values that are inside of this list. So the way we do it is with a for loop. Now you must create a variable where we can put all these words that are concatenated together. So this program here says for the indexes, for the word index, for the index inside of this was 0, 1, 2, in the range of the amount of items that are inside of here, basically 3, so 0 to 2. Okay, so loop 3 times inside of this. Basically say loop 3 times inside of this, and grab the value that are inside. The value basically is word cards, and then concatenate it or add it to this string here and create a word. So now we're going to print it to see what the value of it is. Here you go, word card loop. So it combined all 3 of these together and created this right here. Another way to actually do this, the simpler way to actually do this, you can use enumerate. So this does exactly the same thing, and it's less code. But essentially this right here equals to this right here. So instead of you writing a length, you can just write enumerate. And what it does is it returns two things. It returns the index and the value. So if you want to use enumerate instead of this, you could use that. When looping through a dictionary, the key and corresponding value can be retrieved at the same time using item method. So now we're going to be looping through a dictionary by using the item method. So we're going to create a village with villagers inside of it. So the villagers name This is a list of villagers' name, which is empty. And this is a list of villagers' income that is also empty. But we want to know the income of each villagers inside our village. So now let's create a dictionary that has the data of all our village or villagers' name and villagers' name and our villagers' income. So here we created a dictionary of 3 villagers. Johnny, his income is Cindy, her income is, and Robert, his income is. Now we're going to iterate through the villagers to get our villager's name and our villager's income and put it inside of these 2 lists to make it much more easier for us. So now this item function that comes in with the dictionary returns keys and values separately. So now what you can do is grab the keys, which is the names, and then put it inside of a list inside the list, the villager's name list. And then you can grab the value, which will be the income, and then append it to the villager's income. And now we're going to print out the data so you guys can see what happened. The name of the villagers, Johnny, Cindy, Robert. The income of the villagers. Okay, when you're looking through a list, and if you want to get the index of the item that you're looking for, you can actually use enumerate. So now that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to go indices and values. So now we created a list, a small list here with 3 items inside of it, and enumerator is going to return the index of the value. It's actually the same thing as a dictionary, but the difference between a dictionary and a list is that the dictionary is key in value, so you can have words, numbers, etc., etc. Whereas a list just has an index, which is number and the value. So essentially, they're a little bit the same. You can actually create a list using a dictionary if you just actually put numbers instead of keys. So let's see here the result: 0, 1, 2. So this is index 0, index 1, index 2, and these are the values that are inside of the list. To loop over 2 or more lists at the same time, the entries can be paired with a zip function. So I created 2 lists: a list that has a name, age, favorite color, which are questions, and a list that has answer Johnny 45 blue. Now I want to combine these two together and create a new list which will have the name beside the answer. So now we created a little program using the for loop. And this for loop, we're basically saying for all the questions and for all the answers, return all the questions and return all the answers that are inside of this list. And then we're going to combine them by appending the values that are inside the question and inside of the answers. And we're going to print a combination of the two. So here you go. So what is your name? It is Johnny. What is your age? It is 45. What is your favorite color? It is blue. So essentially we combined 2 lists together and we created a new program or a new list out of these 2 lists. So that's how you use zip. With zip, you can actually add way more lists. You can have many combinations together in order for you to create any combination that you may want